What is love? From ancient times to the present, debates about this have never ceased. How do I define love? Love is desire with a form. It is a game involving intelligence, emotions, appearance, financial resources, and many other factors. This game lasts no more than a year, usually just a few months, with the ultimate goal of seducing the other person to get into bed. That is the essence of love. A game driven by desire. Anyone who has ever been in love knows the feeling of excitement and nervousness when meeting the other person during the passionate phase of the relationship. The first time holding hands, the first kiss, the first time doing something that makes your heart race. Just a few days without seeing each other, and you feel restless. These are the symptoms of love. But among married couples, no matter how good the relationship is, after more than half a year of marriage, do you see any couples still experiencing these symptoms? This reveals a cold truth. All relationships between people in this world are, at their core, exchanges of benefits. These benefits are not just financial but also emotional and moral satisfaction. I know your life is very busy. Still, what I'm saying is not easy to absorb, especially if you only hear it once. My advice is to watch until the end, listen repeatedly during your free time or while doing household chores. Share and save the playlist for your convenience. I'm confident that within a few short months, your mindset will develop significantly to a new level. Black Crystal warmly greets you all. When I see many people living for emotions and social relationships, feeling confused and anxious, I am willing to share my years of experience and training with everyone. First, I am a human, not a deity. Although I have an incredibly strong mindset, what I say is not universal truth and is naturally not without flaws. Life still requires you to experience it yourself. I am merely sharpening a knife, handing it to you, but whether and how you use it is up to you. First, we need to learn how to build an incredibly strong mindset. So, what is an incredibly strong mindset? I define it as follows. First, do not rely on any external factors to find confidence. Rich but not arrogant, poor but not desperate. Loss does not bring despair, and gain does not bring complacency. Second, humans are not deities, everyone can make mistakes. When you make a mistake, try your best to correct it, there's no need to regret it for a lifetime. Torturing yourself is meaningless. What has happened cannot be changed. Do not dwell on the past. This is a necessary element for a strong mindset. Third, even if you lose anyone, you are still you. You are unique, your spirit will not diminish just because someone leaves your life. This is the third standard. Emotions do not depend on anyone but remain independent and complete, standing strong. Fourth, do not care about any negative evaluations from others. For positive praise, accept it happily, but do not let it deceive you. Understand the purpose of those who praise you. What do they want from you? These are the necessary standards for a strong mindset. There may be more to add later, but for now, these are the main points. I note that this content is mainly for ordinary people whose minds are not yet strong. If you are someone with an extremely solid mindset, you can still refer to it. Whether your mindset is right or wrong, if you are steadfast on your path, you are already a strong person. Right or wrong will be clearly reflected in your life later. Happiness or not is something you bear yourself, there's no need to argue with me. Learning my secrets, I cannot guarantee anything else, but at least in your life, you will no longer feel sad, confused, or suffer from love, nor cry over failures. All negative emotions will stay away from you. The points above may seem simple and abstract, but implementing them is a vast knowledge. I will analyze them more deeply for everyone to understand. I will start with the topic that interests most people, love. I will show you how to face difficulties and obstacles in these aspects. I always speak directly and accurately, getting straight to the core of the issue, and the truth is often like a 1,000-year-old cold blade, dark and cold, unyielding. If you are a sensitive person who cannot bear it, do not continue reading. What is love? From ancient times to the present, debates about this have never ceased. How do I define love? Love is desire with a form. It is a game involving intelligence, emotions, appearance, financial resources, and many other factors. This game lasts no more than a year, usually just a few months, with the ultimate goal of seducing the other person to get into bed. That is the essence of love. A game driven by desire. Anyone who has ever been in love knows the feeling of excitement and nervousness when meeting the other person during the passionate phase of the relationship. The first time holding hands, the first kiss, the first time doing something that makes your heart race. Just a few days without seeing each other, and you feel restless, like scratching a soul itch, pacing around the room, stepping on the threshold, scratching your hand on the window frame, just occasionally not being able to contact them by phone, not getting a reply to a message, and you start to worry, speculating whether they are happy with someone else. These are the symptoms of love. But among married couples, no matter how good the relationship is, after more than half a year of marriage, do you see any couples still experiencing these symptoms? This reveals a cold truth. All relationships between people in this world are, at their core, exchanges of benefits. These benefits are not just financial but also emotional and moral satisfaction. This is a complex concept that I will explain in detail later. Love, marriage, siblings, relatives, friends, and even part of the parent-child relationship fall within this framework. Those who want to oppose, look carefully before criticizing. I only say part of the parent-child relationship, not all. In fact, the rest of what parents give to their children is genuine and pure love, worthy of respect. This is no exception to anyone. Back to the issue of love. As mentioned, love is a battle of wits or a game, so of course there will be winners and losers. The standard of winning and losing depends on your original purpose when starting this relationship. Different purposes, different standards of judging winning and losing. Not that marrying the other person means you win. Nor does it mean that being abandoned by the other person for someone else means you lose. Bad luck can come from luck. The person you get may be a useless person, while the person you lose may be a troublemaker for life. In short, losing can be a good thing when you get rid of someone who can cause you pain for life without bringing any joy. Suppose you start a relationship with the purpose of marriage but then both of you cannot save it and have to break up. The standard of winning and losing at this time is as follows. Who is so miserable that they can't eat or sleep, can't sleep, even torture themselves or commit suicide? That person is the loser. Who is the one who leaves comfortably, quickly escapes the darkness and lives happily? That person is the winner. Remember the third standard I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Don't depend on anyone emotionally, but be independent and complete, resilient, and stand firm. You may say, this sounds simple but it's not easy to do. Emotions are not machines, how can they be turned on or off at will? It's actually very simple. You need to remember, from the very first day of starting a relationship, remind yourself that the other person can leave you at any time, for any reason. This idea needs to be reminded constantly. You may think that this will prevent you from experiencing true love, that it is emotional deception. But you are wrong. I haven't taught you another trick yet, which is self-hypnosis. So how to do it? This self-hypnosis trick is really a great skill, not easy to teach. Be alert. You have the opportunity to master a powerful tool, which can be seen as casting an unbreakable sword in your mind. Simply put, self-hypnosis is similar to the way talented actors completely immerse themselves in the inner world of the character, thereby truly expressing the emotional changes of that character. Some actors play the tragic role to the point of being unable to escape from the character, leading to depression, even suicide. This proves that the emotions after self-hypnosis are very real. All these emotions are real. However, when it comes to the essence, it is more complicated. You need to have the courage and vision to see your whole life as a play, in which all the sadness and joy are just acted out and experienced by you once. This is a high-level content category. It is not appropriate to talk about it now. I will just briefly mention it. No need to pay too much attention. Now, Perhaps you understand what I mean. Being prepared for the possibility of a breakup does not mean that you are not allowed to engage in love and love. If you cannot become strong enough to be single and happy all your life, then when you are young, if you do not love passionately, how can you become a person like me with this strength and vision? You will also lack a profound experience in life. When you are old, what will you recall? The problem is, how can you engage in love and love without being deeply hurt, and still be able to experience passionate love? First, you need to determine that the other person is a suitable person to play this risky love game with you. For example, he is quite handsome, gentle and thoughtful, and has a little money. Or she is very beautiful, charming in appearance, gentle in personality, etc. After determining that you really like that person, you can start to love him or her. Love like other people. He cares about you very much, you miss him very much. Both of you can give a lot to each other, all is fine. In this state of mind, you will definitely experience all kinds of emotions and shocks of love. Unremitting longing, unreasonable jealousy, silent care that brings warmth. A small gift makes you extremely happy, a wrong sentence leads to a fierce argument, then reconciliation and hugging and crying. You can experience all these things. You may say that this is no different from other people. But I tell you, as long as you remember the following things in this love, you will be different from others. No matter what the outcome, you are the winner and will not be hurt. First, from the first day of meeting, always remember that at any time, for any reason, this relationship can completely fall apart. Second, this is a game. If he does not betray you, you will always follow him. If he betrays you, the game ends here, you will not play anymore. However, you must also sincerely invest your feelings in this game, not cheat on your feelings. You may be hurt, you may be sad, but remember that you are just an actor and this game can end at any time. You can experience these emotions, but when the play ends, you must immediately withdraw. Third, before marriage, it is best for girls not to give themselves away. I am not a chastity person, I am just speaking from the perspective of benefits. Here in Vietnam, if girls want to increase their value and have an advantage in the game of love and marriage, it is beneficial to keep their self-respect. The most important thing is that if you do not give yourself away, it will be easier for you to withdraw. If after all I have said, you still do not understand, let me give you an example. Suppose you find a suspicious text message on his phone, what should you do? You say that you are learning to be mentally strong so you don't care. You are wrong. At this time, you are an actor in this play. Your reason will tell you that your role should be to express moderate anger, question him and decide how to continue based on his reaction. At this time, you really need to mobilize your emotions. You can even show anger, gnash your teeth, and grind your teeth. However, deep down, in addition to these emotions, you should remember that this is just a card that you have to play in the game of love according to the rules. Deep down in your heart, there is no anger. You are like that, withdrawing from the game, looking at yourself and the other person who is arguing. Next, I will continue to talk about love. First of all, I would like to emphasize again that teaching you to self-hypnotize and use the psychology of an actor to face love is not teaching you to play with feelings. You need to have the professional ethics of an actor. If the other party treats you well and makes sincere contributions, you should also respond accordingly. But the old saying is still the same, girls should not easily use their bodies to respond to the other party's financial contributions. Otherwise, you may lose. Because there are some men who are very good at pretending to be broken. This will open up many topics about men. I apologize to everyone, but I just want to tell the truth. I hope that there will be fewer naive women who fall into the trap. Later, I may also talk about how men can avoid being deceived by women. Very fair, right? So how far can a man pretend to be broken? He will take good care of you, but very properly, not too much. When you are sick, he will ask about you, bring you food and medicine. When the weather changes, he will remind you to wear more clothes. When you are sad, he will gently comfort you. Whatever you need, Whatever you like, if he has enough money, he will try to buy it for you. When you are spoiled, he will be tolerant and not argue with you. Even when you do not want to be close, he does not show any discomfort but only says that he loves you. He can take care of you. In short, when you date him, you will feel very comfortable, secure, and even gradually depend on him. And then, you may be out of the net, unable to leave him. How many girls have fallen into the trap of such men? Of course, I am not saying that all men with the above expressions are fake. There are also those who are truly devoted, truly want to live with you for the rest of their lives. I'm just referring to those who don't want to be with you for life, but show such care just to trick you into bed. All their actions are means, and the ultimate goal is sex. So, you will ask how to distinguish whether the other person really wants to be with you for life. Sorry, but a man is willing to use all means to trick you into bed. With such sophistication and intelligence, it is difficult for a young girl to distinguish. So how to avoid being tricked, so as not to lose your youth, your body, and not be seriously hurt? You need to remember two very important things. One is, at any time, do not easily believe everything someone says. This applies to all relationships, especially big things. Even if you see it with your own eyes, you have to confirm it again in a bad way. Sometimes even parents can lie to you with good intentions, let alone other people. Second, in this world, there is no love or hatred without reason. If others treat you well, they will definitely want something in return. The above two principles are immutable laws. If you always remember and follow these two things, it will be difficult for others to deceive you. But no matter how good the theory is, each person understands and applies it at a different level. If you are still deceived of something, such as money, youth, or body, then what should you do? This is the time to return to our main problem: how to build an extremely strong spirit. This is our ultimate goal. I am not just here to teach you how to love or find a husband or wife. We are not saints, we cannot live like Mai the Hawk too. That is to say, living a pure life, not being tainted by worldly dust. Therefore, it is difficult to avoid male-female relationships and emotions. Unless you do not touch it, once you are involved, it is difficult not to be hurt. It is just a matter of how much or how little you are hurt. Rolling around in life, it is difficult to avoid worldly entanglements. After all, most of us are ordinary people. It is difficult to keep our hearts pure like a bright mirror. What we need to do is try not to let those things touch your hearts. Once we have a strong spirit, we will no longer be afraid of emotional injuries. That is the right path. Actually, it sounds boring to say it, but even if there is a man or woman who really wants to live with you for the rest of their lives, the nature of that relationship is still an exchange of benefits. Let me emphasize again, benefits are not limited to property, but also include the joys of life, emotional comfort, moral satisfaction, etc. Marriage, as a social system, its nature is to live together, to get through the day, helping each other, complementing each other's strengths. Men need to relieve their desires and give birth to children. In this, they require women to have good appearance and health. They need someone to take care of the logistics, which requires women to have good morals. Only then can they feel secure to go out to work and earn money. Just like in the primitive age, they felt secure to go hunting. The nature is the same. Women need men to provide material support, spiritual comfort, and protect their sense of security. Of course, women also need to satisfy their desires and give birth to children, but this level is lighter than that of men. That is the nature of the exchange of benefits. Men provide what women need, and vice versa, women provide what men need. Both feel that the other party can bring benefits that match their desires. Then fine, let's shake hands and complete this transaction, that is, get married. Why talk about love and talk about benefits? It is to remind you that, whether you are in the passionate love stage or have just passed this stage and are about to get married, you need to always remember that he is just an object that meets the standards of the exchange of benefits in your heart. The game of love is short. You have played your best, have tasted all the sweetness and bitterness of love. The condition is that you have played the role according to the self-hypnosis method I have instructed, not really immersed and unable to escape. So, from here, continue to follow the rules of the game and continue to exchange benefits with each other. He may provide you with financial support. You respond with emotional comfort and care. Or vice versa, he may comfort and care for you emotionally, and you respond with financial support. Of course, there is also physical comfort. Now, let's talk about the difference between a bad man and a normal man who wants to live well with you. The worst one, regardless of beauty or ugliness, rich or poor. His only goal is to get you into bed. This type is easy to recognize. You just need to not let him achieve his goal. He will quickly lose patience and change targets. The other type of bad men that is more hateful is those who are completely immature, irresponsible. They don't even know what their next step will be, have no plan for their future life. Only think about flirting with women and taking them to bed. They are like the worst kind of men but with a little more control. The issue of marriage or unwanted pregnancy is not in their scope of concern. When you talk about the future and life after marriage, they will be vague or say completely unrealistic words, like if they want, becoming a millionaire is easy. Just wait, they will support you. With such people, it is best to stay away, because they are just a waste of time. A good man, no matter what age, rich or poor, needs to be responsible. When responsible, they will not act too deviantly. Whether in love or marriage, they will know how to invest emotions and efforts. Observe how they treat people every day to evaluate. How is their attitude towards their parents? If it is too bad, it is not acceptable. This shows that they lack humanity. If filial piety is too extreme, you should also stay away, because in their hearts, parents are heaven and you will always be the last in the order of priority. Such an exchange of benefits is no longer balanced. It is not to say that filial piety is not good, but one cannot blindly be filial without distinguishing right from wrong. This shows that the man is immature and has no opinions. Also, look at how he treats his friends. Does he value his promises? But he is not stupid in keeping promises, stubbornly following them without distinguishing between right and wrong. They need to have their own principles. What should be done, and what should not be done, no matter how good their friends are, they should not do it. If they often go out to help others fight, then stay away. Also, look at how he treats people of lower status in society. It is not required that he must be a benevolent person, but at least he should not look down on or speak rudely to waiters, sanitation workers or beggars for no reason. Such a man, no matter how good he is, has his limits. Next is whether he is willing to spend reasonable money on you. If he has extra money but is stingy and doesn't want to spend it on you, then you should leave him immediately. No need to say much, but note that this is the money he earned, not the money forced from his parents or borrowed from everywhere without being able to pay back, then buying you expensive gifts. This shows immaturity. Once you understand these things, then apply my self-hypnosis method to love, even get married and have children, then basically you will not be deceived or hurt. Even if you are hurt, it is only emotional hurt, because you know that it is all just an exchange of benefits, and you do not invest too much benefit compared to the other party. Emotionally, you also always stay sober, observe that you are playing a role, so how can you be seriously hurt? Some people will say, I met a man who completely met your standards for a good man, but the result was still being tricked into bed and then dumped. How to explain? Well, congratulations. You have met a master. Such people can play a role for their whole life, until they get bored, and still do not leave the role. The scariest thing is that they always act, both in front of and behind your back. Meeting such a person, you consider them to have won the jackpot. This kind of man is rare. He leaving you early is your luck. If he had lived with you for many years of marriage, played the role of a good husband and father for more than 10 years, and then one day, had an illegitimate child come to you to ask for money for college, Wouldn't you be so shocked that you would bleed out on the spot? When you meet a bad person, whether married or not, you just need to rely on the third principle. Losing anyone, you are still yourself, you are the only one. You will not lose any spirit because anyone leaves your life. That is the third principle, independent and emotionally perfect, not dependent on anyone, strong and resilient. Nowadays, many young girls like older single men or married men. There are two main reasons. One is the lack of fatherly love and family warmth, the other is money. Let's not talk about those who like money, but those who like feelings. Older single men are often mature and thoughtful, at least on the surface they look like that. They have much better financial potential than young men, and their caring skills have been honed through many other women. When they start to care about young girls who lack love and life experience, it is difficult for these girls to resist. There is nothing to blame, because after all, he is a single man. As long as he does not intend to play around, you can try to start this relationship. However, what I want to say is that you must see clearly the true face of that older man. Some of them are just middle-aged wolves, only interested in your young body and are very good at hiding, making it difficult to recognize. In fact, when young girls fall in love with older men, the risk is really not small, because your life experience and maturity level are far different from his. He lies and hides, you cannot easily detect it, but you cannot generalize everything like that. Because if you have loved and are about to love, how can you tell young girls to stop? That is not realistic. Among older men, there are also those who truly love you, want to live with you for the rest of their lives. For girls who love older men for love, I hope you can practice the following points. Don't depend too much on older men. Even though you are young, you are an adult, you need to have your own opinions. Putting your happiness in the hands of others is not trustworthy. Even if that person is truly kind to you, there may be times when they are affected by factors beyond their control. If he leaves you, this is even more true because people are very fickle. Who can always keep the same feeling as when they first met forever? That is impossible. The warmth will eventually decrease. Your happiness must be held in your own hands. Speaking of this, some people may think, then I will try to earn a lot of money so that happiness is in my own hands. But that is not the case. That is not what I mean.